Danny. How you doing, ma'am?
I looked back at my calculations, Hen, and I figured out the key element we're missing is thrust.
It's amazing that they got you in to do that part when you weren't even born yet. That is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that you appreciated that joke so much.
I did. I did.
Oh, Lord. How have you been, Dan? How's life up north? How are you doing?
It's alright. It's alright. It's cold. It's dreary. So
Yum.
The same, really.
Oh,
Usual,
that reminds me of... I don't know if you've been watching I'm a Celeb, but obviously they're doing it in Wales now.
Oh, yeah, in that big castle.
Yeah, it has a name that I've completely forgotten. No, it's a nameless castle, Lewis. Yeah, the castle has a name, obviously, but they have these sponsor bits that run before and after the ads, which there are so many of in I'm a Celeb for some reason. But they have these Australian insects, which are normally sponsoring the show when it's running in Australia, and they also have a set of Welsh insects, which now it's in Wales. They are playing them off each other for the comedic laddie bants of a snail talking to a stick insect and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But one of the Australian insects says to the snail, so what's it like here? There's like raining in this. So it's raining there. So what's it like in the summer? And he goes, the rain gets warmer. So I imagine that's what it's like in Scotland too.
No, the rain doesn't get warmer. The rain if you listen very closely, you can hear it laughing at you in the summer.
Lovely stuff. Right, have we got some bullshit for this week, Dan?
I do. Let's spin the wheel. Danny's top tips on parenting.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
this comes out of fucking nowhere. Have you got something to tell us, Dan?
No, don't be fucking ridiculous, Lewis. Jesus
Well,
Christ.
in my defence, where else would you have gotten top tips for parenting from?
Yeah, that's true. But no, I was just thinking the other day about how some things that, a lot of parents do don't really make sense.
Yeah, that's true, I suppose.
See, when it comes to first top tip. See, when it comes to Santa, right? Now, spoiler alert, people. Just, if you don't want to know anything bad about Santa, just cover your ears, okay?
Yeah, skip forward 2 minutes.
Yep, skip forward 2 minutes. But why? Why would you ever tell your child that Santa exists in the first place? Because do you know what I would do, Lewis?
What would you do?
See, on Christmas Day, they'll probably have heard from their friends,
Yeah.
Santa's going to get you presents and all that, and then I'll be like, no, an imaginary being didn't get you these things. Me and whoever I'm with has worked very hard all year to get you these lovely gifts because we love you so much.
That,
sure.
yeah, that does make a lot of sense.
Surely you getting the gratitude is better for you as a parent rather than giving it to some bearded, all-seeing person who can.
No, I do agree with you. That does make much more sense to me to say to your kids, I got you these things rather than Santa Claus got you these things.
Exactly.
Maybe it's like maybe it's worth saying like, oh no, Santa Claus is like a character who sort of embodies Christmas spirit, and he's positive and he's cheery and he helps out people in need, and maybe that's a positive way of going about it. But then saying, but he doesn't break into our house on Christmas Eve. This is from us.
No.
maybe there's a middle ground. I don't know.
No.
No.
I'm gonna say to my child, if I'm not gonna have one, but hypothetically, I'm gonna say, listen, see all the wee arseholes that you go to school with, their parents are lying to them. They've all been duped. They're all idiots, okay?
I see.
You're the only one that knows the truth. There's no Santa. You understand? So go around, tell every single one of those kids that.
Fuck.
And if you get into trouble, I'll deal with it, right?
That really reminds me of there's this webcomic I saw years and years ago, and it was a teacher called up a parent and said, Hi there, Mrs. Milligan, or whatever her name was. Yeah, your son. We've had a bit of trouble with Timmy recently. He's been saying some bad words in class. Goes, oh goodness. What word did he say? She says, well, it was the F word, Mrs. Milligan. You know, fuck. And as much as we don't try and sort of censor language at school, we have to try and teach the kids what's appropriate and what's not. And she goes, right, okay, well, I'll have a word with Timmy then, and I'll see where he heard that word. She goes across to her child, crouches down next to him, looks at him and goes, Timmy, what the fuck, man? I love that.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah. So that's tip number one.
That's Danny's tip number one. Okay.
I'm trying to think. I did have another one.
But it was so good, you decided it couldn't be committed to paper.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. So see, when you're at a birthday party, right? When you were younger.
Yes.
It might have been yours, it might not have been, it doesn't matter, right? But there would always be one kid who, when the candles were being blown out, they would then try and blow the candles out, and everyone would have to stop. Right. Everyone would have to stop the party for this wee shit, because
fucking Timmy.
Yeah, if they don't get to blow out the candles at someone else's birthday party, then they start crying, and So the way I would deal with them, Lewis, do you know what I'd do?
What would you do?
Do you really want to know what I would do?
I hate to say I'm intrigued. Please tell me.
In the bin. Just
the child?
Lift the child up, open the bin lid, and it goes. Done. Taken care of.
I like to imagine that it's actually not a bin tall enough to hold the child. So their head and shoulders are poking out of the top, and they're just looking out sadly, just like, why have you done this to me?
Yep, and I don't...
Because you blew out the candles.
And all the leftovers from the cake would be poured in with them still in it. There you go, there's your cake.
Surely that could be a good thing, though, getting showered in cake.
Alright, fine, I'll put another bin out, and I'll put the
just
cake
out of
in
reach.
there, and they have to watch it go down. There you go, done.
Or even better, get like a little fire pit wherever you're holding this party.
Yeah. And
put the child in the bin, and that's where they have to look at the fire pit, and then you have to burn the remaining cake in front of them.
Yeah.
Like, that was your piece, but you're not getting it now. It's burning instead. It's a sacrifice to the birthday party gods.
A colleague at my work, I think, was slightly horrified by my sort of views on parenting.
Right? I can't imagine why.
Because there were these group of kids who were filling up slushies, and
right.
They hadn't taken the lids off, and there was a fucking mess, man. There was a mess everywhere, and I was staring at them with the evilest dead eyes I could ever muster. And she was like, "What's wrong with you? Are you all right?" And I was like, "No, it's just those wee bastards over there. Look at them. Look at them. Look at messy wee idiots. Look at the state of them. Look." And she was like, "They're just kids." I went, "They're just kids? Just? That you're letting them off the hook? Look at the mess. Look at it's like, oh, so you don't want kids then, do you?" No, I don't." And she's like, "Why not?" And I said, "Because they're parasites. That's why."
Right.
They're born. You pay about $100,000 for them by the time they're 10, and then, when you grow up, you're sitting there, waiting for them to come round to see you, shivering, and that's the only solace you have in your life after having spent decades raising this little snotty indigent.
Fucking hell, Dan. That's a bit bloody bleak, Jesus.
But it's all good, because there's a way that you can avoid all this heartbreak, folks.
Oh, right.
Don't fucking have kids. There you go.
I see.
Done. I'm gonna have a very happy life. Very happy. And I'll let you know how it goes on at my blog.
I see. Well, blowing past that dangerously horrifying cynicism, that is something that annoys me. Is turns of phrase that are thrown about to excuse sort of either poor behaviour or just to excuse actions that are sort of rude. But it's not an excuse, it's an explanation, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, a classic one is, it's just kids. It's just kids, it's just kids. Yeah, but a kid knows not to just throw fucking Fanta everywhere. Come on now. Yeah. Or whatever it might be. But then there's also things like Boys Will Be Boys is, of course,
Yeah.
in my humble opinion, the worst one. It's because it's like in, for example, a great example, in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, there's the son, I think, of the deputy police chief. He is like spray painting on police cars and then running away before they can catch him. And the police commissioner comes in and says, well, boys will be boys. Let him blow off some steam. And the detective goes, yeah, well, you do know he caused thousands of dollars worth of property damage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's an explanation. He's acting out because of whatever, but it's not an excuse. I think at the end of the day, you are still, what's the word, accountable for your actions in a way.
Yeah, or like a racist relative is, he's a different generation. He's a different generation. It's like, okay, brilliant.
Yep, yeah.
I don't want to know what age he is.
It's what gets me about it's the frustration that gets me, because I read a lot of like classic sci-fi and classic horror and stuff. And for example, Lovecraft, I learned recently that he was like horrifically racist and misogynistic and anti-Semitic.
Is that from H Bomber Guy?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of H Bomber Guy recently, and I learned about that, and I was like, fucking hell, I had no idea. But like,
Oh yeah.
it's just sort of, to be perfectly honest, it's just annoying and frustrating, because it's like, well, I don't want to associate with that, and yet you're in this bizarre thing where you're like, well, really good, interesting sci-fi, but also the person that wrote it was morally abhorrent.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do in that situation? And then they think, right, fuck this, I'm going to find another author, fuck it. I don't want to put that much brain power into looking at different horror books and picking one.
Yeah, you just read them and then you just don't think about the author,
Like that mysterious series of books about a boy who's a wizard.
That's it.
And they are written by somebody we just don't know. We just don't know who wrote those books.
Who wrote that? I don't.
I've got them on the shelf over there in the corridor, and I can just sort of see now. It's Harry Potter: The Complete Collection, and there's no author.
There's no author.
There's nothing at all. No author. They were spawned into existence.
Yep, definitely.
Weird, isn't it?
It's weird. The world is very strange.
Indeed, it is.
But that's my bullshit. Do you have anything, Lewis?
I've got a cheeky little nugget of bullshit, and for once, it is a positive nugget.
Oh, fucking hell. Okay.
Right.
I'll spin the wheel, right?
Okay. Whoever is in charge of the podcasts at BBC Radio 4 deserves a fucking raise, because Jesus Christ, they're really good.
Are they?
They are really bloody good. Every couple of months, which is sort of the production time, I think, for like a sort of a mini series of podcast episodes, they release a series that absolutely blows me away. Like the first one I listened to was this series called Forest 404, and the idea was it's set in this sort of like sci-fi dystopia, the extreme far-flung future where there's just no nature anymore. There's no trees, there's no grass, there's no plants. It's all just enormous skyscrapers, and there's the main character, who's played by Pearl Mackie from Doctor Who, is
lovely.
The main character is like like a data archivist, and she's like listening to these recordings of like audio recordings from centuries gone by, and she's saying, okay, this is this famous audio clip, and it's Neil Armstrong going, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, and all that. And then she's like, well, I mean, that's not really very necessary. And she deletes it offhand. And she's going through these recordings, and she finds one that's like the sound of a rainforest. Mm-hmm. And she's like, what the hell is this? I've got no idea what this is. And she like listens to it and listens to it and listens to it, and it like gets into her head, and it's like almost hypnotizes her in a way.
Yeah.
And like as the story progresses, you learn about like the downfall of human civilization and how robots are like accidentally in charge of everything at this point.
Oh.
And the audio clip of a rainforest, and then she discovers others, like one's like I think it's of the seaside, and then there's like another one that's of like a sort of a British sort of forest, and it all sort of progresses, and you realise that these little audio clips are actually like sort of a computer virus almost for all these robots that are running civilization, and she becomes this fugitive. But long story short, it's really fucking good. If you haven't listened to it, do, because it's really good. It's called Forest 404, the numbers 404, like the internet error code 404, website can't be found or whatever. But it's absolutely really good. And that was the first one I listened to, and I listened to it. I remember I was like in my greenhouse at the old house, like planting tomatoes, and I was like, "This is like fucking great." I'm like planting like elbow deep in soil, and I'm like listening to a podcast about like sort of eco sci-fi, and it was just really bloody good. And the reason I'm bringing it up now is because very recently, the conclusion to a 3-series sort of archy thing has recently been released. It's called The Lovecraft Investigations, which is also why Lovecraft has been on my mind. And basically, it's 3 series. The first series, I think it's like adaptations of classic stories. The first series is The Case of Charles Dexter Ward.
Yeah.
The second series is The Whisperer in Darkness. And the third series is The Shadow over Innsmouth. And so it's like sort of told, it's these classic stories, but told from the point of view of like a modern podcasting team that investigate true crime.
Yeah.
So the first episode is the host is that I'm Matthew Hayward, and recently a man called Charles Dexter Ward has disappeared from a Rhode Island mental hospital. And then they like go and investigate, and they talk about this, and they look into his family history, and they discover all these secret societies and cults and gods, and it's really good.
Yeah. No.
There are some bloody good podcasts out there, and if you like audio drama, I would really recommend listening to some of the BBC ones, because they're fucking brilliant.
I'll need to give them a listen then. I'll see me. I'm fucking shite for that though. You know, I forget to watch stuff that people have. Let's see. Literally, before we started doing this, I started watching The Wrong Trousers, and I got to the bit where Wallace started giving Gromit his presents. So it's literally fucking like 2 minutes in. And it's too last minute, you know, and this was my last chance because this is the Aardman trilogy that we were doing. So
honestly, you've got one job.
I did swatch a quick look at what's the villain's name?
Feathers McGraw.
Feathers McGraw, and the fact that he's so cute is unsettling as fuck.
Yes, it
it's
is.
not. It's just 2 small little black eyes.
And the little beak that doesn't ever open
or move. And I clicked to a random point, and he's shooting at Gromit with a gun on a train.
Yes. Oh, God, I fucking love The Wrong Trousers. It's, Feathers McGraw is genuinely chilling, and that chase scene is just like a masterclass in, like, animation. Like, as they're going along, I'm sure you'll have seen it as you were watching, but like, Gromit is laying out track in front of the model train as they're going along. And like, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, because he was doing it so quickly, Gromit actually needed to have 3 arms so that the motion blur would look realistic.
Oh my god!
So he was like, oh, it's just really good. I love Aardman.
That's fantastic. Well, I mean, speaking of Aardman, if you've got nothing else.
I have no other bullshit.
Amazing. Well, let's get to our third and final Aardman film, Chicken Run.
Chicken Run.
Yeah. And it was directed by Carrie Kirkpatrick. No, not directed. It was written by Carrie Kirkpatrick, and it was directed by Peter Lord and Nick Park. It's starring...
Good old Nick Park, eh?
Good old Nick Park.
I'm more clay than man now. I haven't been able to get that out of my head. That's fucking great.
It's starring Julia Sawalaha. So sorry, folks. Mel Gibson, Lynn Ferguson, Miranda Richardson, and Imelda Staunton.
Imelda Staunton?
Yeah,
really?
She plays Bunty.
Who the fuck is Bunty?
You know the big one, the sort of hands-on one, the one that punches Fowler.
I think I do. Yeah. Yeah, the big one. Yeah.
The big one.
I had completely forgotten about Bunty. I just didn't even consider it. Imelda Staunton, of course, Dolores Umbridge fame.
Yeah. Do you know she's going to play Queen Elizabeth in season 5 of The Crown?
I do know she's going to play Queen Elizabeth in season 5 of The Crown.
Yes.
Speaking of a bit of The Crown casting, you know what I think was a criminal miscasting?
What?
Was casting Charles Dance as Louis Mountbatten
instead of Philip.
4. Yes, instead of Prince Philip in the Imelda Staunton era, because he has that age and size that he could be Philip. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he could weather him a bit, make him look more like a zombie, and he would he would look like him. You know.
I know you're joking, but that is 100% true.
It is
like
true.
in Mr. Holmes, which was a Sherlock Holmes film with Ian McKellen in it. They aged Ian McKellen up, and he looked fucking ancient. Like,
yeah.
It was really impressive, I thought, at the time. But yeah.
They've got Jonathan Pryce as Prince Philip, who's in...
Jonathan Pryce, I'm going to have to Google him.
He's a very good actor. He's in Game of Thrones, he's in Pirates of the Caribbean. But I don't think he looks like Philip at all. I don't know if he's tall enough.
I don't think I've ever seen Jonathan Pryce in anything.
You must have done.
I'm sure I have. But,
you know, Keira Knightley's dad in Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's been a long time since I've watched Pirates of the Caribbean. I've probably seen him in something and since forgotten.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if he's Philip material.
Well, all the royal family are surprising. What you said about him not being very tall. The royal family is surprisingly not very tall.
He's quite tall, though.
Prince Philip?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I think he's
Prince
at least
Philip.
6 foot.
He's 1.83 metres, which is, of course, 6 foot dead.
Yeah. I thought he was. Yeah, 6 foot. That's quite tall.
I suppose it is quite tall, yeah.
It's tall. It's tall for me.
I'm 5'6". The world is tall to me. The other what's the other one? Yeah, it was something like the royal family are quite small, but Diana's genes have sort of injected some height into the family, bizarrely. Like William and Harry are 6'3" and 6'4".
Oh.
But I think Prince Charles is 5'10" or something like that. They're all quite. Like, compared to sort of national averages, they're all a little bit short, I think. I can't recall now, but yeah.
Well, there you go. That's inbreeding for it, no.
You're not fucking wrong, though.
I've got to say, folks, every fucking royal family in the past was a product of inbreeding.
100%. That's one of my absolute, my favourite sort of darkly hilarious things about royal families.
It's so true.
Is endless inbreeding produces these horrendous facial features. And like in the Windsors, you can see this sort of like inbreeding and family resemblance in this sort of bulky chin.
Yes.
It's like sort of chubby cheeks and a bulky chin.
Yep.
And with the Habsburg royal family, which I think is now since sort of dissolved into nothing, it was an incredibly long and hooked nose and an incredibly long and hooked chin.
Yeah.
So they almost sort of met in the middle. Genuinely, if you Google Habsburg resemblance... Let me Google it now. Habsburg resemblance. Oh, fucking Jesus, I can't say but yeah, they all have this bizarre chin and bizarre nose. It's chilling and weird.
Yeah.
And it's also kind of hilarious.
In the Crown, I don't know if you saw the episode with Michael Fagan. The guy that breaks into Buckingham Palace.
Oh, yes, I did, sorry.
Oh, what a fucking scene that was, Jesus.
It was really good, yeah.
It's a shame that didn't happen. It's a shame that...
It did.
No, it did, but there was no long conversation about like...
Oh, was there not?
No. The Queen...
Oh, I was given to understand there was.
The Queen pulled back her curtains and saw him, and she went, "What are you doing?" And then ran out the room, and he was taken down.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Really good scene, though.
Oh, very good. Very, very, very good.
It's the thing that sort of got Chloe and I as we were watching it was that like you sort of can't fault his logic.
No.
In a really strange
No,
way.
you can't.
When he was like, right, well, who do I complain to then? And she went, your local MP. And he went to his local MP and she said, who do I complain to then? He said, the Prime Minister or the Queen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, you kind of can't fault his logic up until the point he breaks into Buckingham Palace. But up until then,
I mean,
his logic kind of works.
He's not breaking the law. Unless it...
I mean, he kind of is.
Well, he stole a bottle of wine. Then he's breaking the law.
He did smash a window.
Yeah.
It is probably... Is it private property?
It's state
is
property.
Is Buckingham Palace private property?
No, I think it might be now, but back then it was state property.
Yeah. Buckingham Palace grounds serves an important place for the royal family. Queen does not privately own it. It is held in trust by the Crown Estates. Okay. I suppose that makes sense, though.
Yeah. And trespassing isn't illegal, as long as you don't steal anything.
On public land, like?
Yeah.
That's interesting. So if you just...
It is weird. It's a weird...
That is very strange. So if you jumped over the fence at the front and you were like, had your hands up in surrender and you were waving a white flag and you're just walking around like, it's public land! It's public land!
Yeah.
Just walking through the grounds of Buckingham Palace, just having a look around and...
It's...
I imagine you would get shot by the Royal Guards, surely.
Yeah, so that's my pro... It's like... it's like our taxes got to pay for that fucking thing. It's like we should be able to break in when we want.
Yes, precisely. We haven't really talked a lot about the royal family on this podcast, but I think it would be no surprise to long listeners who know how disgustingly left-wing I am that I'm not particularly fond of the idea of an inherited power.
No, me neither.
But like, yeah, I don't like the idea that my taxes are paying for the upkeep of the royal households and stuff. But I find it interesting, but I disagree that they should have any real political power. But, it is what it is.
Stephen Fry said, we'll get to Chicken Run, don't you worry, folks. Stephen Fry said a really interesting thing about the idea of because you know what he's like. He's left wing as well, and he doesn't like inherited power. But he said that there was the case that could be made as to why we would keep the Queen, just the Queen specifically, is that if there could be a way of having a sort of idealistic figure who represented what Britain meant or Britain stood for, and the person in power had to go to them every single week and explain themselves, that would really temper someone like Trump if he had to go to Uncle Sam or someone like that every week and explain himself and try and reassert the core values of what that country's supposed to be. That might be interesting.
That is, I think, sort of what the Queen is. I mean, I've never met the Queen. I don't really know what she gets up to in her private time. But I think that's ostensibly what she's sort of trying to do, and what she sort of does is like you see in The Crown, all these old lessons, things of her at Eton, learning about the Constitution and how there's a balance between church and state and all this sort of stuff. And it's about her sort of saying, right, well, it's my job to maintain sort of the status quo in a strange way.
Yeah.
And that is a really good point. That's where my great thing falls down with the monarchy, is that the Queen Elizabeth II, this is, I am impressed in a lot of ways by her sort of. She seems genuinely to have done good work over the last however long she's been in power. It's over 60 years now, isn't it? 60, 70 years or something.
Yeah.
She seems to have done a lot of work for charitable organisations, and she does seem to have sort of acted in the best interests of the country. Mm-hmm. But then, because she's so fantastically rich, it begs the question, is it the best interests of the country, or is it the best interests of her?
Yeah.
And let's just say, for the sake of argument, it's the best interests of the country.
Yeah. I mean, to quote Parasite, she's not nice because she's rich. Or no. No, she's rich. Yeah, she's nice because she's rich. That's what I mean.
Mm-mm. And the thing that gets me, though, is that, like, say you have a monarch come to power whose moral character is extremely flawed.
Yeah.
Then what do you do then? Do you know what I mean? It's like I know that it's not. I am by no means like the I should by no means be the judge of the moral character of everybody in the world. But like looking back over Prince Charles's life and times, he doesn't seem to be the most moral character I've ever seen. No. Do you know what I mean? And that's putting it particularly gently, because I don't want to accidentally commit any kind of treason. But
I don't think you can do that now, can you?
Can I not do that now?
I don't know, but I don't think you can be reprimanded for speaking ill of the Queen.
Oh, well, in that case,
if you could, that would be so. I would be even more anti-monarchist than I already am. I mean, that wouldn't be. It's not a very good way to get people on side.
No, but I think that's what it sort of comes down to with me with this inheritance of power is like Prince Charles, looking back over what he's done throughout his life, is morally reprehensible. Wow. He's not a nice person in a lot of ways. A lot of the decisions he's made, a lot of the things he's done. And so if we hand over this reins of power from the Queen, who is in this hypothetical situation, an ideal national figurehead, to Prince Charles, who's really morally compromised, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If we're handing the reins of power to someone who's incredibly immoral, I suppose, sorry.
Yeah, I mean it's because the Queen is silent on most everything, and the royals sort of stay sedentary and stay distant about.
And I suppose that's kind of the point in a weird way.
Yeah. which I like the fact that it's evolved into that we're just here to, you know, as an icon of the nation sort of thing.
Yeah, I do like that idea of that thing you said about like a sort of a almost a mythical
an embodiment
leader of the country, an embodiment of something. Because that was, oh god, we're coming at this from Lewis Brindley misremembering something from several years ago, but we're gonna have a go anyway.
Yeah.
I think that is presently the function of the Chinese emperor.
Yeah, something like that.
I think there's no sort of actual power that he has, but it's sort of a representation of like sort of what China's all about and everything. And then I think he's supposed to be able to sort of make judgments and things and say we probably shouldn't be doing this for the spirit of China or whatever it might be. That might be misremembered, and if it is, I'm very, very sorry. But I believe that's the idea.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Well, we've talked extensively about the monarchy. Should we talk about some chickens for a minute?
Let's do it. Do you have an opening statement?
I do. You ready for this, Dan? It's a fucking great one.
Go on.
Danny?
Yep.
Do you think that this is a foul film?
No.
You dick.
But it isn't. It's a good film. What do you want me?
No,
yes,
foul is another word for like chickens and turkeys and.
Oh, I thought you meant foul as in.
Fuck.
Oh no, but there's a. I thought you were trying to do like the character who's called Fowler in this.
No, what?
Okay, do it again.
Dan?
Yeah?
Do you think this film is a foul film?
Yeah.
No, fuck me!
What do you want me to say? Should we have a rehearsal?
I want you to go... That's hilarious!
All right, okay, right.
Jesus Christ, leave all this in.
Okay, I will.
Danny? Do you think that this film is a foul film? Oh, God, that was bloody hard work, wasn't it?
I'm keeping that in. I don't give a fuck.
That reminds me of it's Family Guy or something, where he's like, they're passing that meat jelly around the table at like a Russian head of state meeting. Sorry, right, go on. What's your opening statement, Cocker?
God, we're diverging. The tragic tale of a loving couple who lose their modest livelihood at the hands of aggressive poultry. No, I'm joking, obviously. Freedom is groovy, and every fucker deserves it.
Yep, couldn't agree more. Right, have we got some CRQs, some CRSs, some CRMs?
Yes. You know how you're saying Feathers McGraw is terrifying?
Yes.
Mrs. Tweedy is
horrifying.
Fucking terrifying, I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. The animation on her face, it's just, her eyes are always sort of half closed, and it's just dead. Just dead behind the eyes. And the only time she ever smiles is when she's chopping off chickens' fucking heads. It's horrible.
Another thing that got me about Tweedy was how everything in the farm, including Mr. Tweedy, the machinery, the chickens, the fences, it's all filthy, apart from Mrs. Tweedy.
Yeah.
Like, her boots are like spit shine, bright colours. Well, they're black, but they're like bright,
Polished.
shining black, like she's been sat up all night polishing them.
Yep.
And she's like trudging across this field. Oh, it's fucking horrifying.
It really is. Poor Mr. Tweedy. I mean, it seems that he's just a victim of abuse.
It's all in your head.
Yeah, it's just like he's kicked about. He's sexually assaulted at one point. It's just it's pretty. She's just not a very nice person, Lewis.
Yeah, I mean it's bizarre to consider that Mr. and Mrs. Tweedy are presumably husband and wife.
Maybe they're brother and sister.
Well, that makes squeezing his arse much more concerning, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got. Let's go with husband and wife.
Yes.
Just avoid any complications there. But yeah, best villain.
Yeah, she is a chilling villain. I think it's the utter brutalness with which she operates. Like, if she'd have taken that bird that didn't lay any eggs and sold it, I would at least understand the capitalism sort of side of it. But instead, she literally chops its head off and roasts it. And the two people eating an entire bird in one sitting, so that just bones are left on the table. It's brutally horrific.
It really is. It's probably sad when you think that they're probably the victim of economic repression.
Probably, yeah.
And they're trying to just make money. which is, been forced upon them by this, this capitalist system. But like, there is some sadistic elements there. You're not telling me that they're just two lovely people trying to get out of a financial hole. I mean,
she delights in the cruelness of it all.
Yeah, and she thinks the chicken are like vermin that need to be, destroyed. So, but yeah.
One thing I do particularly like in this film, I am so tired of making minuscule profits. She looks on the table. Tired of making minuscule profits?
Yeah. Miranda Richardson, her voice is Mrs. Tweedy. See the bit where she's getting dragged by the airplane?
Yes.
And like, the sort of animalistic growls that you hear from her. It's like, like that's like no normal human being makes those noises. It's like so horrifying.
Yeah. Plus, it's completely forgotten this completely, but like Miranda Richardson, of course, was also in Blackadder.
She was, yeah. She
and
played
Good
Queen.
Omens recently. She was very good in that.
Yep.
She was in Merlin. She was in fucking loads of stuff.
Been in loads. She was in The Crying
Harry
Game.
Potter. The Crying Game. I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Crying Game. It's a film, I think. I'm sure she's in it.
Here I am to prove you wrong. Miranda Richardson, yes, she was in this.
Yeah.
A British soldier kidnapped by IRA terrorists befriends one of his captors. Well, that sounds like a laugh a minute, doesn't it?
It sounds like a fucking joy. Babs is so wholesome.
Yes.
Isn't she?
She is.
She so
It's
is.
a living.
It's a living, yeah. I don't want to be a pie. I don't like gravy.
I love that. It's so like you say, she's so wholesome, so pure.
That's it.
And the other one that gets me is when the teapot. They dress the teapot up as a chicken.
Yeah, and Mr. Tweedy just doesn't notice that.
Yeah, you just squinting at it when it's obviously a fake chicken and there's someone underneath going.
So even though the lips aren't
must
moving,
be a chicken then.
and they're all sleeping, what?
Yeah.
I told you they was organised. It's funny.
Chloe posed an interesting question while we were watching this film.
Go on.
The Scottish chicken has glasses.
Yeah.
Where does one get glasses for a chicken?
Where does one get scissors that would fit a chicken?
Well, they were just small scissors. I presume they're children's scissors.
Maybe out of beer bottles. I mean, to be fair, how can a chicken sew? How can a chicken do half the shit that these chickens do?
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Chickens don't have like opposable thumbs, do they?
No. I do like Mac. Mac is really good.
Mac. Oh, the Scottish chicken.
Yeah, the Scottish chicken, yeah. Of course I do.
Yeah.
Of course I do. I'm
What's
biased.
it? The dancing over crossed swords. When they were all having that party and she was doing the Scottish dance.
Yeah.
It tickled me. I was like, because it just didn't go with the rest of the party at all. They were just like, right, what's another Scottish thing we can get Mac to do?
Yeah. I mean, normally I hate those sort of things, but in this film it charmed me a wee bit. Land of the free, home of the brave, Scotland! Scotland indeed.
Oh, God. One thing that is particularly dark in this film is when Ginger says, they're just fattening us up to put us in pies, we're all going to die.
Yeah.
And Babs proceeds to knit herself a noose.
Oh, so she does, yeah!
so bloody horrific.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick Park has got a really good way of making things horrific, but still keeping the funny tone.
Yes,
If you know what I mean? Like, you don't see the chicken's head get chopped off, which is good, because that would just make it comical. So, it's serious.
One thing I do want to say is I like all of the machines that they seem to make in, like, Chicken Run, Flushed Away, all the Aardman stuff. The machines always have... they always look incredible, for starters. But also, they always have such incredible, like, detail to them.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I've written down here, the gravy pressure dial is absolutely incredible. Like, why would a machine that makes pies have a gravy pressure dial?
Yeah.
But, do you know what I mean? And also, it's measured in, like, it was pounds per square inch or something, which implies that it gets incredibly high pressure, but it's just... utterly fantastic.
Yeah, and see when Ginger and Rocket are in the machine, Rocket's going down and the vegetables go down one chute, and then it automatically knows that Rocket.
he is meat.
Yeah, how does it know that? Is there a scanner?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know how that would work.
Maybe chickens are just... Yeah, I'd imagine chickens are probably less dense than vegetables.
Yeah, but you get some dense vegetable. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, how can you...
Yeah.
You can't really tell with just from feeling it alone.
That's probably true, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure... Well, we would know, but a machine couldn't unless you programmed that in.
Yeah, unless you programmed it so that if you waved some cheese in front of its face, it would smell cheese. And if you waved some petrol in front of its face, it would smell petrol. And then you'd realise that didn't actually quite work right. So you'd have to have a lever on the side. So you move the lever up to cheese and wave the cheese in front, and it goes, cheese! And then move the lever down to petrol and wave the petrol. Maybe that would happen.
Maybe.
I love that Michelin Web look.
I love the what after the cock-a-doodle-doo. Cock-a-doodle-doo! What?
Yes, and I love that it's just dead-ass him screaming cock-a-doodle-doo.
Yeah.
They didn't get like a chicken, or they didn't get like a piece of audio of a chicken actually making the noise.
Yeah.
They just got a bloke to stand in the audio recording booth and just scream cock-a-doodle-doo.
Oh, I can't wait for the live-action remake of this film. Can you imagine how ridiculous that would look?
Maybe it would look almost as ridiculous as Cats 2019.
Maybe release the butthole cut.
Maybe we should get Aardman to remake Cats 2019.
Oh, it would be so much better.
Yes, it would.
There'd be no buttholes in it. There'd be no overt sexual nature of cats in it.
Yes. It wouldn't be, why is the Idris Elba cat somehow so much more naked than all the other cats when they're all the same amount of naked?
Yeah, and James Corden wouldn't be in it, so hooray.
Oh, yeah, thanks guys for that. That's one thing I have realised is that as we're doing all these Doctor Who episodes in the other podcast, we're going to slowly edge towards the James Corden episodes and be like, oh yeah, James Corden's here. Ooh.
Now, don't get me wrong, I think James Corden and Gavin and Stacey is really funny, and he wrote that with Ruth Davison, and they're really good in it. It's just the sort of, bottled, branded American version of himself that he's created, where he now runs a late night show for some reason.
Yep.
He's somehow qualified to do that. Don't know where he went to school for that, but so,
to be fair, where did Stephen Colbert or
that's right.
or
I don't like
the
any of them.
school?
I don't like any.
Conan O'Brien.
The only one I like is Conan.
Yeah, Conan used to write for The Simpsons.
He did, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Conan is the only one that I like out of the late night show hosts.
I generally,
and maybe Craig Ferguson because he's Scottish.
Of course. I generally don't like chat shows. That's my point
Oh yeah,
of view.
we talked about this, didn't we?
Yeah. Oh, the one person I particularly hate in terms of British chat shows, at the very least, is what's his name? Jonathan Ross.
Jonathan Ross.
I cannot stand to watch Jonathan Ross. I don't know what it is, but I just cannot stand to watch anything he's ever done.
I do. I'd love to go on Alan Carr. I think that would be a really. I think that'd be a really good laugh.
Alan Carr seems cool, doesn't he?
Yeah, you get a wee drink, you get yourself tipsy. You know what I mean? And Alan's pretty witty, so it's like it's a good 20 minutes.
Indeed.
But we're fucking veering off again.
Right, I have to say, I absolutely love watching cartoon animals use tools.
Yeah.
There's something so wonderful about watching a cartoon chicken pull nails out with the back of a claw hammer. And do you know what I mean? There's something so brilliant about it. And how they've all got those augers, because they can't use power tools, obviously. So they've got those augers and it's just so brilliant. It's just so... I cannot take my eyes away from it in those scenes.
Is it all made of clay?
Yeah, it's all plasticine, I think.
Everything.
Maybe the set pieces are made out of balsa wood or something. But by and large, I think all of the characters, at the very least, are definitely plasticine.
Definitely. But I mean, the
set
axe
pieces...
and the ramp and the...
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Fucking hell, that's a lot of fucking work.
Yeah, it's because I used to be big into it when I was younger. I remember reading an article and stuff about how they used to use armatures, these little sort of wireframe skeletons, and then they build up a sort of a clay person around that, which is sort of so they'll have a wireframe axe that they then build up like brown plasticine for the handle and silver plasticine for the head, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, by and large, it's like 99% plasticine. Yeah.
It's weird how you have to think that they must have made the Tweedies huge because they have to make it big enough for them to get into the small huts for the chickens. So the chickens would have to be quite big and the huts would have to be quite big. And then you have to go into their house. Well,
Yeah, that's a really good point.
well, maybe they would just rebuild it and they would just shoot, a smaller version of it rather than making
Maybe they
it
had
life size.
Maybe they had like a giant couple of hands and a giant couple of feet.
Yeah.
But like sort of realistic size.
But to be fair, you do see Mrs. Tweedy with Ginger
right at the very end.
the ramp, yeah. So it's like, and she's massive compared to her. So it's like, I don't. Maybe they made a smaller version of Ginger. I don't know.
We actually used to have chickens at our college.
I used to have chickens in my back garden.
Yes, you've told me this story. It's particularly horrific.
It is horrific. My dad forgot to, close the pen, and foxes get in, didn't they? And killed every one of them. And one particular fox buried a chicken in the vegetable patch for later, and we could see its little claw sticking out of the thing. So we found that. So it was a late night snack for the poor hungry bugger.
Well, that is particularly horrifying.
It's horrifying. It's buried.
The chickens at my college fared a lot better than that, I have to say.
Yeah.
They would just sort of walked around, pecked at the ground every now and then.
To be fair, they
That was
shat
just what they
everywhere.
did. Oh, I see.
They shat everywhere. I'm not saying it's good that it happened, but they shat everywhere.
We had the chickens at college. They didn't, to be honest, they didn't really seem to shit much at all. I suppose I was only at college for like not that many hours per day compared to my house. But then I suppose there can't have been someone out there in the courtyard 24/7 just scooping up chicken shit.
No, definitely not.
But yeah, they seemed to they had a little hutch because we had this corridor that had like a bit of wall was made of glass. It wasn't made of glass. It was a big window, and on the other side of that big window was like a little sort of grassy courtyardy thing.
Yeah.
And they sort of built a big fence and then put the chickens in there with a hutch and with like a little bit of feed and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, they used to like sell eggs and stuff.
Nice.
It's quite nice. I used to quite enjoy going down that corridor. I'd go out of my way to go down that corridor so I could see the chickens every now and then. It's quite nice.
Yeah. That's nice. I like chickens.
I like chickens too.
Yeah.
Right. I have to say that I would like to imagine that the kiss was sort of semi-unseen at the end because the animators could not figure out how to make two chickens with beaks to kiss.
Yeah.
Because they were sort of pliable, sort of not. The bottom lip would move a lot. The bottom bit of the beak would move a lot, and the top bit would sort of remain rigid.
Yeah.
So what you'd end up with was sort of like a Homer Simpson style underbite.
Yeah, it's like or like in Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, where they have to the animators realise that their noses are too big, so they have to blow up their faces in order to get a kiss. Have you seen? Have you seen? I was going to say It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Have you seen It's Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs?
I have done many years ago.
Yeah,
I remember thinking it was really cool.
it is
when
good.
I was a kid.
It's a good film.
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and that his dad, when he's got that sort of enormous eyebrow, and then he like right at the end he like sort of lifts his one eyebrow up and you can see there's two tiny eyes. Oh god,
That's
I
funny.
fucking love that film. That was great.
But yeah, the line about making the public feel more comfortable with a woman's touch is so fucking real. It's like companies do that all the time.
Yeah.
God, Nick, fucking honestly, this is so clever. This film.
All of these Aardman films have won Oscars on Oscars on Oscars because they are
No
flawless. From writing to concept to execution, they are flawlessly brilliant.
I will say, how did Ginger manage to hold up the severed rope with a full human being on it for more than 10 seconds? She's a chicken.
Momentum, I'd say. Maybe Mrs. Tweedy had quite a lot of momentum.
I mean, she couldn't hold up the ramp, and she was holding the thing for 10 seconds, and her weight was dragging the plane.
In order to play devil's advocate, I'm going to say that it's because the ramp was originally on the floor.
Yeah.
So Ginger was having to supply a lot of energy to get it to be at 45 degrees. But Mrs. Tweedy was already in the air. Ginger wasn't lifting her up off the ground. She was already in the air, like.
Yeah, but once the thing's severed, it's like it's now loose from the big sort of plane that's holding it, and the only thing holding it is a little chicken's arm.
Oh, of course. Yeah, okay. I feel like Ginger's arm would have been ripped off or something.
Yeah, or at the very least,
it might have been a bit dark for a kid's film.
Yeah, they could have shown her like struggle a bit, maybe, rather than like. It's 20 full seconds. It's like.
Were you there with a stopwatch? God, I'm going to fucking mention this on the podcast.
Because to be fair, that is the only flaw I can find with this film. Because otherwise, it's just so good. The chicken or the egg, Lewis?
The egg.
What came first?
The egg.
Did it?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yep.
How? Explain to our listeners how that's possible.
Because due to the nature of evolution, something that was very similar to a chicken, but was not in fact a chicken, will have laid an egg which had a chicken inside it.
There you go.
And then that chicken will have been born and been a chicken.
But, like, I mean, you can't have...
Timothy Spall in this is absolutely fantastic.
Who does he play?
The rat. One of the rats.
Does he?
Yes.
I didn't even... Oh my god.
And of course this hat is useful for multiple occasions. It can be used in Paris.
And of course
as
at
a wedding.
weddings. That's good.
I'm surprised they didn't make a joke about chicken coop and chicken coo.
Yeah.
Because it was literally a coup. They sort of wrestled Mr. Tweedy to the ground and essentially buried him under one of the little huts.
Yeah.
And were like, yes, it's a coup. We're staging a coup against the military leaders.
The chickens are revolting. Finally, something we agree on.
I do love how Mac, the chicken, is there in like the engine room going, I'm giving it all she's got, Captain.
Yep. It's like, what's going on? A Klingon captain.
Oh, I fucking love Star Trek, and I love Chicken Run.
Yeah, it's so good. I like Mac.
One thing I do like about this particular film is that it appears that Mr. Tweedy's pants make up part of the plane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's that bit where...
So they've had to take them... Oh, God,
yeah.
Poor Mr. Tweedy, man. He's been through the fucking ringer in this film.
He has a bit, yeah.
And, of course, when Mrs. Tweedy, the machine explodes, Mr. Tweedy kills her. Just pushes a door on her.
Oh, God, yeah.
And just crushes her.
That was my one of my notes here. Mrs. Tweedy's dead, right?
Yeah,
she can't survive being blown up by boiling hot gravy and then also
Crushed.
a massive barn door falling on her.
Because I double taked when I saw it. I was like, oh, did it fuck? No, he fucking pushed it. He pushed it. He killed her.
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh man, Jesus. So yeah, I don't know if she. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say. She deserved to die.
God. I particularly liked. There were two visual gags in this that I really, really liked. One was Chocks Away, and it was little Toblerones.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Did I ever tell you about my mate that founded Toblerone?
No.
Yeah, Toby Lerone.
Fuck's sake, man.
I like that one very much. And the other one was on the little cart. They sort of strap wheels to one of the chicken beds, don't they? And they push it down they sort of elastic band it down the sort of field. And on the sign it says Stevenson's Rocket.
Uh-huh.
It's of course one of that big fancy steam train was Stevenson's Rocket.
Yeah.
It's like one of the biggest, fastest steam trains ever.
Yeah.
Or something. I just really like that. It's just really funny.
It's steeped with history and clues and little bits of personality. All the films are like that.
That's the thing I do particularly like about these films is there are a lot of films nowadays that are like very dedicated to giving you a twist.
Yeah.
And I don't like a twist where you can't. I'm lifting this to almost word for word from that H Bomber Guy video, but in my mind, the point of a twist is so you can go, oh shit, Oh, but actually,
Yeah.
and then you look back and you think, actually, yeah, that makes sense. I just last night finished reading a book called Let Me Lie by Claire McIntosh. A really good book if you like thrillers, you'd like that. There's a big twist at the end. Well, I mean, there's twists all throughout, but there's a really big twist at the end, where you're like, oh shit. And then the character, it's basically the villain of the piece. It's sudden twist, and it's not who you expect it would be.
Yeah.
And this person who turns out to have been the villain all along, you're like, oh god, yeah, actually, all the way through that way. Oh my god, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
The fact that you can look back through and think, yeah, that kind of checks out. It kind of scans. And that's, I mean, there's no great twist in Chicken Run, but that's, you sort of get it through the film. It's like they're having a little arms race with Mr. and Mrs. Tweedy, and you're like, well, can you do this? Can you do this? And they make logical step-by-step choices.
Yeah.
Which I mean, it sounds like stupid, me saying, oh, I love logical step-by-step choices. But in a world where we're populated with, like, films and TV shows that are just kind of nonsense in a strange way, or at least they can be, I think it's really nice to see it in a film, and Aardman do it so incredibly well.
Yeah, there has to be an internal world logic. So maybe the logic doesn't adhere to our own one, but it's that if you're consistent with the rules you've made up, and you can make a good story out of it, then you're winning.
Yeah, completely.
But I know you'd like H-Bomber Guy. I know you'd like him.
Yes, I do. He's very left wing, and he likes sci-fi and thrillers. Is he me? He's a weird northerner. Is he northern?
No.
Rubbish with accents.
I don't think he is.
H-Bomber Guy. Who is he?
Harris, his name is.
H-Bomber Guy. Michael Harry Brewis, better known as this guy, is English. Well, thanks. That's fucking helpful, isn't it? He was born in Halifax, West Yorkshire. I'd call that the north.
Oh, yeah, okay, fine, fair enough.
Cool, yeah.
There you go, then.
But, yeah, if you like how horrendously left-wing Danny and I are, you'll really like H-Bomber Guy.
You should watch his Pathologic video.
Yeah, it comes up in my YouTube suggestions every now and
2
then.
hours
It's 2 hours long.
But it's so good. I'm serious. It's what made me subscribe to him. He's so good in that video. It's such an interesting game.
Well, because we're time to break the magic, folks. We're recording this on the 23rd of November.
Yeah.
And my birthday is the 27th, which is this Friday. So I'm taking a day off on Friday. I know it's very exciting. So I'm taking a day off on Friday. So I'll have to watch Pathologic video on that. At the same day, I'm doing World Conquest in Civilization and Satire in my pants. I'll watch that H-Bomber Guy video where he talks about Pathologic.
There you go. Lovely.
I think I might be out of notes, Cocker, I think.
Yeah, I'm rapidly running out. Let's see. Killed his wife. Do you have a favourite character?
I think it's got to be Mac, hasn't it? Either Mac or Babs.
Yeah, Mac or Babs.
I just love how wholesome Babs is.
She's
like, well, it's a living.
Yeah. There's always...
Do you want to be stuffed, plucked and roasted? Well, it's a living. And that bit at the end. Oh, I'm having a lovely holiday. Oh, I shall be so sad when we have to go back.
I'll be sad to go back.
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh, it's good. Well, I think I'm out of notes. Do you have a closing statement?
I do have a closing statement. An absolutely wonderful film, as all Aardman films are, with stunning visuals throughout. I am sort of sad to come to the end of this Aardman trilogy because they're just so majestically wonderful, and I can't help but watch a lot of them all the time. I really like these films. This one's great. Wallace and Gromit is great. Flushed Away is great. Let's do them all again next week. Hey!
I'm sure we'll do other Aardman films in the future.
Christ, yeah.
Yeah,
When we've got a dead week, we'll have to do The Wrong Trousers.
Yeah, I'll finally watch The Long Trousers properly. I said The Long Trousers, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Oh fuck! I
You
meant
did.
the wrong. That's the wrong sentence. Ha! But there you go. Don't be a sadistic farmer, okay? Be like Babs. Babs is good.
Babs is good. We stand Babs.
We stand with Babs.
We do stand Babs.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening to our podcast. We've got some shilling to do, Cocker.
We do have some shilling to do. I am on Instagram at O'Hiram. I'm on Facebook at Daniel K Actor. I'm on Twitter at Kerzo2000. What are you on, Lewis?
I am on Instagram at Lewis_Brindley. I am on Twitter at LewisBrindley4. And I am on Facebook. I have a Facebook page called Lewis Brindley. And the show, Daniel Kerr, has a Facebook page called Shouting Into the Void.
No way.
I know, bloody hell, isn't that marvellous? Go and give our Facebook page a look, give it a like, give it a follow, give it a message. I am Facebook illiterate, I've said this many times. If you can write something on the page, do.
if you can figure it out, give it a go.
Because I fucking barely can. If you're a better man than me, do it.
Yeah. We are on Podomatic, we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, we have a YouTube channel, we're on Deezer, we're on Google Podcasts, we're on Amazon Podcasts. We have a PayPal donate button, so anything you can spare, anything at all, would be greatly, greatly appreciated. We know it's very difficult at the moment with COVID and things like that, but anything you have is very much appreciated, so thank you. We also have Patreon, and we want to thank our wonderful, wonderful, wonderful patrons. Chloe.
Thank you.
Darius.
Thank you.
Sophie.
Thank you.
Peter.
Thank you.
Aditya.
Thank you.
And of course Richard.
Thank you.
And it is Richard's birthday next week.
Bloody hell, happy birthday, Richard.
Yes, happy birthday for then if we don't say it. I'm sure we'll, if it's next, yeah, you'll need to let us know the day, and if we're recording on that day we'll say it properly, but it's just in case we miss it. So happy birthday to you for then.
Happy birthday, Richard. Have a super duper day.
Definitely. We also have merch. Oh no, wait, I didn't thank all. I did thank the patrons, didn't I?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
All right. Losing my fucking marbles here, Liz. We also have merch. We are on Teespring and Redbubble. We sell jumpers, we sell tote bags, we sell t-shirts, we sell mugs, we sell lots and lots of stuff. So go have a look, see what tickles your fancy, get someone lovely for Christmas. Yeah. So yeah, give it a look, see what floats your boat.
See what packs your suitcase.
Yeah, see what no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm not fucking doing this. I'm not engaging in this pure game. No.
Do it, Dan. Do it.
Whatever. Ties your shoelaces.
There we go.
For fuck's sake. And last but certainly not least, we are partnered with a fantastic company called Number 12 Crochet Avenue, and Lewis has some very nice things to say about them, all of which are 100% accurate.
Indeed, Number 12 Crochet Avenue is a business run by my amazing wife in which she crochets things, and she's really bloody good at it. Recently, she has been working her little socks off making something for a Christmas crochet-related thing. It is absolutely wonderful. Go and follow her on Instagram, check out the page. It's at Number 12 Crochet Avenue. It is words and letters, it is not numbers, it is not punctuation. Go and take a look. It would mean the world to me, it would mean the world to her, it would mean the world to Danny, it would mean the world to Danny's dog, it would mean the world to my cat. Go and take a look.
Please do. Well, oh shit, that was the Aardman trilogy.
It was the Aardman trilogy.
Oh. I mean, I have really enjoyed doing these films because there's, they're a ray of sunshine in a dark, gloomy world.
They are. Yeah.
It's just so nice to sit down and watch with your friends or your family.
Yeah, definitely.
There's something in it for everyone, which is what I like.
I utterly adore all of the Aardman films. I think there are very few things in the world that drive me to patriotism because I sort of disagree with the concept, but Aardman is one of the things that makes me sort of proud of Britain in a strange way. It makes me very proud to be, in some extremely tangential way, associated with that incredible thing.
I agree.
I utterly adore Aardman, and it has been a pleasure talking about them.
It certainly has been. Well, we need to pick something else now, and I'm going to put the randomizer on.
I see. This is the moment in the show, viewers, where I get up the random number generator, and Danny pretends to have a random number generator.
Yep. Breaking the illusion. Are we all set, Lewis?
We are all set. Have it.
Okay, here we go. This is only for the wheel decides this, not Lewis's computer. Okay.
Yep. We have landed on. Hang on. Fuck. Jesus.
Oh, for fuck's
It is The Boys. The Boys is what we're
The
having.
Boys! Oh!
The Boys.
The Boys is a Amazon Prime TV show.
Yes.
It's about superheroes and how superheroes, when arseholes, are pretty fucking dangerous.
Yes.
And apparently it's very good, so we're gonna do that for next week.
Yes.
There's 2 seasons, I believe, isn't there, Lewis?
I believe there are, according to this hasty Google search.
Yeah.
I have not yet watched it. I look forward to watching it. Every now and then I see, like, it comes up in my Instagram Explore page, all the pissing time, screen caps of, what's his name? Carl Urban saying the C word.
Yeah.
Where's it gone? Episodes, 2 seasons, 8 episodes each.
So we'll do both seasons then.
Yeah.
And then if we want, to do them as a whisper when season 3 comes out, that's another option for us. So there you go.
Indeed, it is an option. See, look at us. We're being good at stuff and things.
Yeah.
Meow. Meow. What?
I don't know. It was close to
Monica,
meow.
was that you? God, I'm fucking funny.
Woo!
Okay.
Let's wrap it up. Thank you so much
God.
for listening to this podcast, and thank you so much for listening to our Aardman trilogy. We love doing this, and cheers.
Yes, thank you very much for watching. It means the world. And we hope to see you next week for The Boys.
Yes. Goodbye.
Bye.